Hello. Saturday evening. I want to make some tickets today, and I'm sitting here floundering and trying to figure out how do I want to lay them out. And then I decided, let's just go for it. We'll see how it goes, and not be too particular about things. We just need to start, and then we'll make progress. So that's what we are going to do. I'm going to start with this stamp, the Pullman Company. I love this stamp. I don't use it very often. Not often enough. I used it to make some tags a while ago. I think maybe it was tickets that I made, but we're going to make a bunch more today. I meant to get started on this much earlier in the day today, but I went to the thrift store and I got a bag of stamps. I wasn't expecting it, but it is enormous. And when I started looking through it, there were stamp envelopes inside that had, hidden treasures, and I got completely engrossed in that, and to the point where it's like, oh, can I even sit down and do art tonight, because my back hurts from sitting in my chair? But we're gonna do it anyway. We're just gonna jump right. Well, so much for just getting started. Let's get this guy cleaned off. I want to make ticket strips, and I think that will be fun. If we decide the strippy part of it doesn't look great, then we'll just cut them up. And I was thinking we'll kind of grunge up the background, but I wanted to start with a relatively fresh background. Now, why I'm stamping so far away from myself, I don't know. See, clearly I am just a mess. And why am I using, I'm going to stamp in black, so I don't know why I'm using the little one. Let's go with the big one, so we can just stamp and go. So let's see how we can do with this. You know what? I'm going... Where did you go? Other stamp block. Oh, it's right here. Alrighty, just a disaster. And I just tried to put the stamp on upside down. Wow. Maybe this isn't the best day to do this. It's all right. We're gonna... Yeah, that is a lot better. So I'm gonna make a whole strip. And we're gonna do some different tickets, different strips of tickets. So we got that one started, and then I thought we'd grunge them up or just do fun stuff. Ink 'em. So this is one that I think we're going to do in sections, but having this other one underneath it I think will be helpful, because it gives a good idea of how far apart to make them. So there's that. Let's also add, we're going to put an admit one. Let's do it on this side. Cute. Am I in a good enough spot? I'd be real sad if you couldn't even see me. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit just on the paper. There. My dog's whining out in the hallway. Yep, there she is. She wants to come in and join us. I think we should let her. She's pretty good. Come on, dog do. Come on. You coming in? Oh, you can't be serious. Okay, well, I guess she doesn't want to come in. Thanks for waiting for me while she's out in the hallway being indecisive. Try to be nice. Let her come hang with us, but no. Apparently that is not what she feels like doing today. She would rather just cause trouble. I'm gonna go sideways here with this. Go there. There. Here. Our last one's a little crooked. Maybe that'll just have to be a single. We'll cut that guy off. What else shall we put on here to make it look ticket-like? I wish I had something that had just like a couple of lines. I have this, but I don't believe. I wonder what might we be able to do. I don't know. I was thinking we might be able to like tape off some of it, but that might be a huge pain. Let's give it a try. Okay, they're now outside. If there's anything I have in my other stash of different stamps that might have little lines on it. I'm just taking a quick look here. I don't know that I do. I don't think so. All right, we got to get creative and figure this out. Well, what I'd really like is to have a couple and then wow, this is ridiculous that it's this hard. What if we took, no, because that's not even wide enough that a person would be able to write on it. What about check number? Let's see what this looks like. I should have thought about this earlier while I was out and about. I bet I could have found something. Well, that's too wide then. Okay. Thinking. There has got to be something here on this desk that will be useful for this purpose. I have no idea if this is going to work. Let's try it on a different piece. Here, we'll just try it on the back. I tried other things on the back. Can we get a line? I think we can. Let's try it. This will be a different little experiment. Actually, I'm so afraid that I'm going to be completely out of frame. I'm going back to where we were, I think. Whoops, wrong direction. That's a little better. Okay. Let's see if we can make... We're gonna make it a little bit easier to handle and see if we can make this work. Not super crazy about it, but that would be one way. What if we just put a couple lines there? Nah, I like it better with the lines here. These aren't the best looking, but we are making lines with a paper clip, so what exactly can you expect? I'm still thinking that there's a better way to do this. What about cardboard? I know I've got cardboard laying around here. Here's a piece. I'm gonna rip it and see if we can get this to make well, I had a different idea, but I think this just gave me a better one. I'm going to cut it. We are going to peel it. Which side will come off best? This side. Let's peel this off. And see if we can't make ourselves some lines. Let's check it out and see what it's going to look like here. Works for me. All right. So we want our lines to be where do we want them? Well, we want one end of them straight. So let's start with that decision. And we want about there. So let's bend it so we have a place to hold on. Let's, can we peel more of the paper off? Is there a piece already in better shape than this? We don't need to hold all of the paper off, but I shouldn't have split that one. Let's take a peek at what that looks like. All right, so we've got one, two, three. Let's go 2 down, 2 or 3 down, 2 down, and 3. How wide do we need it? All the way. So we don't want to get any narrower. So let's go like this. And we said we wanted 2 long lines. So let's take this off. I'm gonna grab my knife. Wait, where did I put it? Oh, right here. So I'm gonna cut this here. Attempting to not cut my fingers off. Okay, so there's our 2. Need to go over a little bit more. And we're going to cut this out this way. Get that off. A little piece of paper. And where do we need to come off at? Right there. Let's try this first and see what we think that will do. That'll be too many. All right, let's cut one more off. Where will the top? I think that'll be perfect. And then we can line it up like that, push it down. Yes? No? Well, let's just try it. Let's see what that will look like. Moment of truth. They might be a little wide, but I'm going with it anyway because we made it. And because it's working pretty good. It's not as clear, right, as maybe another would be, but that's all right because we're just making. I think that those are reasonably fine tickets. In fact, I think what I would like to do is, shall we trying to decide if we can make this a little more stable. I think we can. How about, I think what I'm going to do is stick it onto the back of another stamp that I don't use very often. And then we could use this stamp. I'm going to straighten this out. This is a lot of silliness for some lines. I could have just, you know, drawn on lines, but whatever. That's okay. I'm going to go with a little bit of tacky glue to see if we can get it to stick, and then we'll peel it off later. Let's try. Now, which will be easiest to see? I think having it up here at the top. We're just going to stick it on there. Like this, so we know where our edge is. I'm going to pull that off, and let's see if we can get some lines, and then we'll stamp the rest of the images around it. And it doesn't have to be the same. We'll make different kinds of tickets, but we've got some lines. All right, now what else do we want on these tickets? How about, we did cables, how about this serial number? We did admit one. How about if we have, let's make these official tickets. How about, we'll do ticket at the bottom. And we can have a number at the top, and then we'll find something to put there. There's our ticket number. And what do we want for, what do we want for our little, whatever goes in there. I don't even know what to call it. How about, we don't want to put a ticket in a ticket. I don't think. Is there anything on here that we want to use? Here, this will look cool. Number, I keep trying to put them on here upside down. Number original. Oops, I went a little high on that one. How about right there? Better. All right, there is a set. How about, what do we want to do next? We could go, is there anything on here that we would want to use? Well, not airmail. Handle with care, office stamp. I like this number. Let's put the number as the bottom portion this time. And how about, we don't have anything with, we don't have anything with a circle. We can go that. I don't know why we need a ticket to go to the doctor, but we do. This time and in this place we do. Admit one to the doctor's office. I almost put it in upside down. This would be easier if I did it sideways, I think. I don't know. I think I just took it off and then put it back exactly where it was, like a goofus. All right. Next. I think we can get another row in here. What shall we put on it? How about... Oh, I was going to use this transportation one and I forgot. Don't do it upside down. Baggage check. Not perfect, but that's okay. And I think there's a claim, like a baggage claim number on one of these. Let me see. Here, claim check. Sorry, I'm going all around trying to figure out how I think it would look cool. I think like that. We're going to just do it on the end. I don't know why. I've got it completely turned upside down, but we'll be fine. All right, there. I think we've got a reasonable row of tickets. I've got some more paper that we can do more with if we want to, but for now, I think we should just go with these and see how we can spruce them up. Let's get the black out of the way. Let's get all of our stamps that we've used out of the way. And go up here. I'm going to pull you back out because I'm going to likely be pulling much closer to myself so I can see okay. Let's see if I can move you a little bit without causing a big problem. There we go. That'll be good. Let's get this tape off of there. All right. Now we've got a nice big workspace. And I'm still, yeah, it's like, well, I don't even know what time it is. Oh, it's 7:30 and I'm still drinking coffee. That's going to be a problem later, I guarantee it. All right, so I went to the dollar store today and got more colors of our little $1 ink brushes. I went to a craft store and I could not bring myself to spend $4 for one of these brushes when I can get them for $1.25 at the craft store or at the dollar store. So I didn't want to, I had the one or two, I've had the two little ones I get, or the one big one, one little one. And I've been reusing them on a lot of stuff and then just really wiping it. But I'd like to attempt to avoid cross-contamination on my inks. So I'm thinking a little blue might look nice. Let's just get a little bit of blue there. So what I'll need to do is then label these for the appropriate colors. We don't want them super clean. We want them to have a little bit of color. Well, there I just put most of the color on my thing. Oh well. I was hoping to find some of the domed foams, but they were all out at the store, so I just shot over to the dollar store and picked these up instead. I knew I wanted to add some color here, make these a little bit more interesting. All right, now I should probably, well, maybe I can keep track of them by setting them on top of the inks that I use them on, perhaps. All right, now let's go with a little bit of tea dye. This one's pretty juicy, so I'm gonna check it out on here to see, to rub a little bit of that off. Let's give it a little bit of tap. And we're gonna do some grungy stamping as well. I could start over here. Seems to really soak it up there on this paper though. All right, so there's some of that. Now, we're definitely not going to go ground espresso on there because I want to grunge it up with that. Could try a little bit of green, maybe a little purple. Let's see what this guy looks like. Might go with the smaller one for this. Oh, that's very juicy. I'll just try it over here, man. Nobody's not gonna hurt anybody. I like that green. Jump right into it. It's pretty cool, I think. All right, so let's just keep going. I realize this is probably a little bit boring to watch. I'm gonna keep going. Let me pause you because I think this probably isn't all that fun. Okay, I've inked up our whole page, and I did some labeling on those on the brushes so that I can try to not contaminate everything. So now I want to put some grunginess on here. So let's get our few different grungy stamps. We've got this. Oh, here is our little speckles. So let's start first. There we go. Let's start first with this guy, which might be might need a wipe. Let's wipe that off. And stick it on. I think we'll start first with the vintage. I want to also go espresso, but let's try this in different. I don't want it to be a giant big super mess. And I'm afraid if we go straight in with the ground espresso, then that's what we're going to end up with. These guys need a little something. Let's go with a little more here and there. Some right there. Okay. Now, what about if... Oh, I hear a fire truck outside the... Not directly outside. That would be a little scary. Let's go with the super dark with the just a handful of these little spots and see what that looks like. Maybe that will be okay and subtle enough. Although they are kind of close together, aren't they? I might have another spotty one. Let's see. I thought I did, but maybe not. I do though. What about, let's use some of that. I swear I had another splatter stamp. I just saw it. I know I just saw it. If I ever put things where they really belong, then I don't know where it's at. But before we get too far, let's make some of these, because y'all know these are my favorite. We don't want to waste this half of the paper before we do that. Let's go with some of these. We're going to fill up some space with these little tiny tickets that I love so much because they're super cool. And let's get some black ones. And then I'll just cut those out separately. Then it won't be at all a waste because we will have all of these cool tickets. I suppose we could do a mini run of these little tickets. We could totally do that. We could even do a double like this. And make them like that. All right, now set that off to the side. I don't know where the other splatter is, so we're just gonna grab different like that, and this one got much of nothing. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. That was a terribly loud noise. It's hard to stop. Okay, now let's go in first with some tea dye. And I already had one of these that I used, so here we go. Well, it's probably not going to stay. I might have to put some tape on there. Let's go in first with just some tea dye. See how I like that. And we don't even need to like do just one at a time. We can go all across the page as much as we'd like. Looks awful orange. strange, doesn't it? Although I say that every time. I don't know why I act like it's a surprise. Let's ditch this one and go with the vintage photo for a bit. Let's see what that gets us. I do like that. Let's go across multiples here. Let's see. See if we like how that ends up. I'm pleased with that. Let's go down here. Oh, that one's going to be dark. That's all right, though. We're okay with that. Just going to move it around and add and looking pretty messy, like I like it. All right. I think that gives us a good, interesting base to start with for these. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut them out. And we're going to turn them into tickets. Ticket strips. So for this, I'm going to grab my cutter here. I think this will be the easiest to control. And my knife. I had it. There it is. Let's just use this and the knife so we can see where we're cutting and make sure that we are straight. So let's go here. That's one strip. And if we decide that's wider than we want, we can take care of that too. Let's go there. That's our next one. Can always trim it on the big trimmer if we feel like they are too wide. This is the first time I've made that I can recall. I don't think I've made the strips before, so that I do think has too much underneath. Those are a little crooked, but we can always... That's a misprint. We're just going to call it that. A bit of a misprint. We'll have to straighten up the end, I think. Yeah, because the whole did the whole thing at an angle. That's okay. Well, it'd probably be better if I'm also cutting on the table the whole way down. So we can straighten up those ends. Let's see if we'll be able to. I don't know how good we'll be able to. Okay, let's do this one. Down here. I think we might end up with those other ones just being individuals and not a full strip. I think those are too wonky to turn into a strip, but I do want to trim these down. And any other, if we need to shorten them up on the ends, we can just do those with scissors. They're small enough. All right. So, the next step, let's grab our scoreboard. And we are going to score our folds in our tickets. Like I said, I have not done this before, so hoping that it all turns out okay enough. It doesn't have to be perfect, we all know that. So let's pick some places. The other, so let me start from this side. The other thing you can do is score them first, and then what do we do? What did I do? 2 inches? Let's see how we line up if we go every 2 inches. They probably will not be perfect. Not probably. We know they won't be perfect. But they might be all right. 2, and oh, they did turn out okay. Look at that. Look at our folds. They are just fine. All right, so there's ticket strip number 1. So if those turned out okay, then these should work okay too. Well, not that one. Let's see. If that's at 2, they will work okay as long as I cut off this. That needs to be much closer. How does our 2-inch line up then? Perfect. All right, so 2, 4. I don't have a 6 on this little scoreboard. I just have to scooch it over just a little bit anyway. 2, 4, and trim. All right, this guy. Let's see, where do we want our 2? Right there. All right, let's clip just a touch of this off. Well, that's not straight. If you're gonna cut it straight. That's straight enough. It's not perfect, but that looks good. Okay. So 2, 4, and 2 and 4, and that's how I should cut the other end off, is with a score line. And we don't have to do all of them. Where's the, oh, the little guy. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do with this. This one will be a little more interesting, I think. Let's go just straight between. We're just gonna eyeball there, and then we also need to go in between here. Oh, let's scooch it over just a little. Maybe that's just not straight. Maybe we should do it this direction. There-ish. Well, it's just not straight. That's okay. It's close enough. Here. And bending here. All right, so now we got to make them look like tickets. So if you have a crocodile, you can use these. You can use this. If you have just a regular hole punch, that works totally fine as well. I think I'm going to use the hole punch because it's a little bit easier to see exactly where you're at. So we need holes. So we're gonna bend, well, we'll fold them as we go. We want a half a hole. Let's see if you can see that. So I've got just a little bit through. Well, and then I dropped it. So we're gonna go about in the middle, and we're gonna go half. We're gonna go quarters on the side. I'm not even in the right space. So on this side, we're also going to do quarters like this. And we want our little half guy in the middle. So we're going to keep doing that on each one. And if you have any folds that look a little bit off, you can go ahead and adjust. Quarter, quarter. Fold the next. It's a little off. You can also line it up and fold with your bone folder while you're, that's pretty much the same. And these obviously, they're not all exactly the same distance apart. So some of the circles are gonna be more, you know, I've got more room under ticket than I do under the number here, so I'm just swapping it each time I go to see what's closest to make sure I don't cut off any of the numbers. Last end, go quarter, half. Oh, see, I didn't even do that in the middle because I got, well, you can barely tell. And that is our strip of tickets. Super easy, way easier than you would think. So I'm gonna do another one here. And you don't always have to put, if you don't want to have the hole in the middle, you don't have to. You can always just do your corners if you choose. And so I'll show you what that looks like as an option. Well, guess these are going to have the circles. Oops. Didn't do a very great job of showing you that as an option. So there is what that looks like, minus the hole. We're just going to pretend that's not there. So there's that, and I'll show you how we can do the little ones. Okay, now for the smaller ones, we are going to use our crop-it-out because we've got our little bitty punch side. So similar, I'm not going to try to do the middle hole. I just want to do the holes on the folds. So I'm going to do that. Here is, got the little side. And I really don't think I'm going to be able to get it to where you can see this. So we're just going to clip them and then I'll show you. Got that in there. I can't see what I'm doing. Oh, come on. All right. Oh, almost had my hands in there. That would have been dumb. Trying to watch this and do a quarter of that tiny hole is a little bit ridiculous, but that's what I'm trying. It's kind of working. Go here. Half. Quarter. A little more than a quarter, because then I'm going to trim the end, I think. Oh, man, look. This side was smaller. All right. Well, we don't need to be that sad about it. It's a couple more little punches. We'll live. Let's go here. And this could use a little more. And then we're going to shorten this just a bit. All right, and now we have our double tickets. Fun and relaxing, not super intense, but a good time. And now we've got some ephemera to use for our next project. So that's it for me for right now. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you had fun. I think very soon we're going to do, I don't know, maybe we'll do something with the masterboard later or tomorrow. Something. It'll be a good time, whatever we decide to do. So we'll see you then, and I hope that you have a really lovely Saturday night. Bye.